Hello, friends. So I have been trying to find the words for this video, for this post for a while, and I'm trusting that they are going to come through the way that they are meant to come through and that it will help give the full picture as best as possible. So, over the last couple of months, I have connected in with three very young horses. So, two that were under two and one that was kind of just becoming an adult, so likely 5 to 6 years old, which horses tend to live to be 30. So 5 to 6 is still very young for a horse, where if you're talking about a dog, a 5 or 6 year old would be very middle aged, if you will. So the things that these horses have in common was that they all came from auctions or kill pens. They were all extremely emaciated and all very, very sick. They were all on essentially death's door and could go either way. So either they could essentially choose, and just because someone chooses to stay or an animal chooses to stay doesn't mean that they necessarily get to stay, because maybe their body is too like energetically they're ready, but physically they cannot. And the thing that they all have in common, which is why it's been hard to find the words, and something that I think is so incredibly important to talk about, was that when I talked to all three of these horses separately, obviously, that when I asked them if they wanted to stay, like, do you want to be in this world or do you want to go? Because a lot of people say, horses, they will get sick, and these did not choose to get sick. They were clearly neglected. But some horses will get sick or will get injured in order to essentially opt out of this life. So asking them, do you want to stay? And the thing that they all have in common was that they all said essentially they only want to stay if it's not going to be the same. I want to read a couple of the responses that I got from them. So, asking one of them, do you want to live? Do you want this, like, to be here? Do you want to go? And he said, not if this is how it's going to be. Not if this is how it's going to be. And this horse was 5 to 6 years old. So he had gone through a lot in his life. And if that's how his life was going to be, he no longer wanted to stay. Another one that I connected in with, and all of the time I kind of show them what they have to fight for. Right? This is what your life can look like, because a lot of them don't know anything different and can't see or imagine what the difference could be. And so this is what I told her. You have your life to fight for. It is up to you if you want to live it. It can be joyful and beautiful and full of running around and playing and having a romp of a time. You won't go back to what you were just a part of. You will go to a loving family or person who can take care of you in the way that you need. If you want a life like that, you're going to have to fight to stay here. These people are trying to help you. And the way that she responded was, so I don't have to go back to where I just was ever again. And again, breaks my heart, because these horses, animals in general, go through so much. And when they only know neglect, when they only know unkindness, their hearts, their souls are pure. And if that, like, they don't want that. We don't want that, right? In our own lives, they don't want that either. And unfortunately, one of these horses did not make it. And he had said, I said, I promise you, if you choose to stay and you want to fight through this, you're going to have a magical life. You're going to live where you can run and you will be strong and full of life. You will have a full life. And he said, I do. I want that, but I fear it is too late. I fear I haven't tried hard enough and there isn't much more I can do. Even on his like dying day, he put the emphasis on himself, that he wasn't doing enough. Not that the people that were around him, I'm going to start crying, over the past, 5-6 years, they didn't do enough. No, it's he didn't try hard enough to stay. And he does not get to have a full life here. He gets to come back and try over again, but he doesn't get to make right the life that he had. And that's the power that we all have. For whether you own animals or not, you have the power to give them the life that they're meant to have. Animals are here to guide us, to push us, to teach us things. If you have somebody, if you ask your own animals, what are you here to teach me? It might be very surprising. It might be very confronting. I know when I asked my dog, Ranger, the first time this question, which we got to in a roundabout way, he said, I'm here to teach you to trust yourself. I'm here to teach you to put yourself first. I'm here to teach you to be present. And I'm here to teach you to love yourself more than anybody else. And I remember sitting there being like, oh, damn. All right. All right. And I know a lot of my clients feel the same way when they get their communication back from their animal and whatever they have to say, whether it's what they're here to teach them, what they want them to know, why they're having a certain behavior. So I say all of this to just say, we can do better. And whether it's by addressing your own animals that you have, by potentially bringing an animal into your home, into your life, into your heart, into your soul, and providing for them in the way that they need, right? Because every animal is an individual. My dog, my cat, my 2 horses. So just because it's the same animal, same species, doesn't mean they need the same things. What one of my horses needs versus what my other horse needs are not the same. And they will never be the same. They're not the same. They're not the same horse. They're not the same soul. They're not the same being. They don't have the same mission. And so being able to approach animals in that way, but maybe you help by helping out friends that have animals and showing them love, or donating to a source, or reporting something that you see that you feel is really off. It's okay, report it. If you see an animal tied in the backyard that's there day in and day out, it's okay to report that. That's on the owner, it's not on you. If you see horses that look super skinny, report it. It's on the owners, it's not on you. So we all can do more. It's just a matter of how we approach it. We all have the ability. What you can do is maybe not kill the spider that's in your house and instead put it outside. I once came upon a squirrel, essentially, I think having a heart attack in the middle of the street. I stopped and I ended up moving it off the road onto some grassy area to be laid to rest. Maybe it's picking up garbage when you're walking on a trail so that a wild animal doesn't ingest it and die from colic or from impaction or from an obstruction. There's so many things that we can do that maybe we don't think we can do. You don't have to be an animal person to help animals. You can help them by showing kindness to them when you are encountered with them, or picking up the garbage, or whatever the thing may be. We can all do better. So, with that, I will leave you, and I will link to a post that I'm going to do on social media, on Instagram. If you want to follow me, it's emma.in.design on Instagram. And they will have images of these 3 horses that I communicated with. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. We can all do better. Sending you so much love.